Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So is the LG V30 worth my $800? We're going to find out in my first impressions of this video. Let's go. So LG has graced us with another phone. This is the LG V30. This has a 6-inch Quad HD display, 1440 by 2880, which is that new resolution, 16 megapixel on the back, and you also got another camera there for a wide angle. Now this has a 1.6 aperture for the main camera, and the 13 megapixel on here has a 1.9 on the back, and it stresses LED, and you got wide angle, 3-axis optical image stabilization. Very nice. 4K recording obviously on here. You've got 60 frames per second as well. 5 megapixel on the front. Really hoping that the front camera on this phone is actually pretty good, because LG doesn't have the best front cameras. That's something that remains to be seen. So we're gonna crack this open here. I'm getting off all these labels. I'll just slide it out. Let's peel off this label here, and then I will bring the phone back in focus, and boom, there it is. This is the LG V30. You've seen these before. This is what's in the box here, but I'll show you, Smuffy Cam, because I really want to get some first impressions going here. You've got the regular stuff in here, cable, charging, SIM tray. No headphone jack or anything, but I will try out that DAC. This is a very nice cloth here from LG. Let's put it all aside and let's get the phone going here. So I'm going to go through the setup. I'm also going to walk you through, I got a little buzz. So there's the V30 logo. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. We're going to take a look around the phone. This has a Snapdragon 835. It's running LG UX 6.0 plus, it says. Corning Gorilla Glass 5, HDR Vision, HDR10 compliant and Dolby Vision compliant. So always on display. This is actually pretty nice. The display, from what I see here, really looks very stunning. It's really bright, but I'll get this set up. We'll come back to it. Now this is the 4 gig, 64 gig model. There is a 4 gig, 128 gig model for the Plus, which is only on Sprint. This does have Bluetooth 5.0, 32-bit audio, B&O certified on some models. So let me get this all set up. So I'm kind of going through the setup here, signing in, and I wanted to come back to it. The screen is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be in person. But I did go to the store and use this for a little bit. So on the back here, you can see that 16 megapixel and 13 megapixel. You've got the LED flash back there. This does have laser autofocus, which is really, really nice. It has face detection as well. On the top here, you can see the headphone jack, and you've got those antenna bands. This is a very premium looking phone. You've got Type-C here, microphone cancellation. It's on there, extra microphone right there. And you've got speaker here. And that's pretty much it, man. So you've got your volume rocker over here, and then you've got a SIM tray over here, and the power button doubles inside of that fingerprint reader, and I'll get that all set up as well. But let me finish some more of the setup here. All right, so here we are. We're in. We'll do this later. But here is the display. I'm going to definitely lower this brightness down because it's on full brightness. But this is pretty much, man, I got to go even lower, it looks like. This is a beautiful display, and I checked it out in the store, and I was like, wow, this thing is actually gorgeous, man. It's actually really nice. It looks really good. As you can see here, it's a very compact phone. It's doing some kind of update. The fingerprint reader was actually pretty simple, just a few presses, and it was ready to go. I think maybe like 6 presses, and it was really good. Very fast fingerprint reader. Yeah. It's really nice. I really like it. So for now, I'm going to get this set up, but let's take a look at one of the reasons I got this phone is for the camera. All right, here is the V30 60 frames per second. It's pretty stunning. Pretty stunning. It's late in the evening too. It's like super gloomy out. It's coming down. You can see how good this camera is. Focus on that photo. Oh yeah, that blur effect is boss. Oh, look at that. This is really nice. I'm feeling it. Feeling it so far. This is 60 frames per second on 1080p. And this is actually looking really good, folks. You get a sense of how the audio is going to sound. Then I can actually do that wide angle. I hit the wrong one, but let's focus again. Wow, look at that. Standing in the same spot, hit that wide angle, boom, it spreads everything open. I like that. That's one of the best features of this phone, man, that wide angle lens. I really enjoyed it on my other LG devices. So let's walk down here. And again, this is 1080p at 60 frames per second. Really feeling it. Looks really good. Ah, really nice. Now let's test out the thing that we want to test out, which is the camera on the front. So if I were going to use this for vlogging, this is what I could expect. I guess I could take my hat off because I do have LEDs going. Front camera on the LG V30 is just not good. Well, it's good, but it's not to my standards, because I'm going to compare every phone to the U11's front camera, and this one can't beat it either. All right, so this is the rear camera of the LG V30, and I think it's actually going to be a really solid camera. This is not wide angle mode, but this is actually manual mode, and I've adjusted the audio to where I wanted it, turned on the noise and wind filter, and there's just LEDs above the camera. This is the same ones that are in my office. So it's late in the evening time. What do you think about the quality on the rear now? So if you take a look here, I've set up this beautiful always on display. There's a lot of different settings. The settings for this phone is definitely some cues taken from the Galaxy line. You go into the settings here, I've got the settings set at, let me turn off auto and turn the brightness down a little bit so it can show up better on camera. So this setting here this is LG settings. The phone is actually pretty fast and fluid in my experience, but the settings here definitely are reminiscent of when I went into the display to turn on the always on display. First thing I noticed was the ability to adjust the resolution. Now this is something that kind of shocked me. I was like, whoa, so they're doing it like that now. You can go all the way down to 720p. So it came default, but at least it came default at 1440, which is where I'm going to leave it. I don't want to change the resolution. I want to keep it at Quad HD because I plan on doing HDR content, and I will compare HDR content from this phone and also the Note 8 because they both have HDR. So I like how it says the brightness there. So let's change this because I don't like for my phone to time out very long. But you've got the knock-on feature. You've got the mini view. You swipe the home button. Yeah. View VR content. Yes. But you know, the screen here, you've got these normal. You've got it for movies, photos, the web. That's kind of strange that they have that. You can turn on this advanced color. Show full screen videos with brightness more. Yeah, let's definitely keep that on. That's kind of like that upscale that Samsung does with their screens. You know, LG has themes and things like that, so it's just LG doing its thing. You know, I didn't think this was going to be a bad purchase. It's more along the lines of where does it fit in my catalog, and I think it fits right in great. And when I look at this phone, I just think about the Pixel. You know, I remember the comparison I did with this and the Pixel, and I said this would be the better purchase. That's kind of where I'm at still. You know, I don't know that the Pixel is worth. Let's not get into that. Let's not go there. Let's just stick to the LG V30 for now. So you do have that Hi-Fi Quad DAC in here, and you've got everything on here. The settings are just kind of loaded up with a bunch of different things. But what kind of struck me is when I got in here and I saw that for the always on display, I was like, well, I was looking for the always on display, and I saw that with the resolution. And the always on display does have a lot of options, just like the Samsung devices, which is a positive thing. You know, I can put my photo there like I have on my Galaxy Note 8. Like I just have smartphone conversations there. I can do that. But this is going to be interesting, you know, to compare these phones. You can kind of see, I'll give a size comparison later. But LG has packed in a lot of things here, and I think they've answered a lot of people's questions about, they made a response to what people said they possibly wanted. Make no mistake about it, this is a beautiful phone. And I'm just going to use it as is. Let me get back into the storage real quick. You can see 64 gigs. Of that, I've already installed a couple things, did some updates. So I've got 16 gigs that I've used. About 12 of that was actually used, 12 to 14 was used by the system itself. I like that they still have smart cleaning. Yeah, I really like this because you can optimize the phone That is actually pretty cool. I used to use that a lot. But I think they took it away on some of their phones. But this is actually a pretty nice setup here. I'm really digging this. I'm digging it. I think that the LG V30 is going to make a nice fit. You know, the only thing I'm kind of concerned about is the front camera. It's a little disappointing, you know. It's actually really disappointing, you know. But, you know, this phone has a 3,300 milliamp hour battery in it, so it's more than enough to power this thing. I probably will get a skin like I always do. I'm really feeling the always on display. It comes on just like that, as you can see. It's really nice. Overall, this appears to be a really good package here. So I guess I will grab a couple of phones here so you can kind of see the size comparison. Obviously, it's going to be a lot bigger than this phone. Here's the iPhone 8 Plus. Even though the iPhone 8 Plus is in a case, it's an ultra thin case, and it's still gonna be dwarfed by that. You know, nonetheless, I'm recording with the U11, obviously, but I'll show that later. But this is the LG V30, and let's close out this video, folks. Let's close it out. So there you have it, my unboxing and first impressions of the LG V30. One thing I figured out in this video, that the V30 cannot replace my U11's front camera for sure. I kind of knew that going into it, but the rear camera, the video that you saw, actually the footage that you saw in this video, it's late in the evening, it's actually getting dark outside. So what do you think about that? I will match it up against the U11, my best camera here, in my opinion. And I think the V30 it's a very stunning looking phone, man. It's so small and so compact for this large size screen. I actually really like it. So thus far, from what I'm seeing right now, I think I'm probably gonna like this phone. It's so thin and so small and so light. Makes me not even want to use my iPhone 8 Plus, man, or the Note 8. I didn't do any kind of comparisons or anything like that. But what I wanted to do was get the unboxing up, you know, get everything set up the way I wanted it. There's already like a software update and things happening on here, but I just decided to wait and just kind of get through this portion of the video for you guys. But everything is looking pretty good so far. The cameras, again, are one of the main reasons I got this phone, because I want to try to use it to shoot some of my YouTube videos and find out if it can actually replace the cameras on here for at least the rear. I knew the front camera, like I said, wouldn't be that great compared to the U11, which is what I'm using to record this video in the same setting. You see how much more light the U11 brings in with that ultra pixel setup? It's just fantastic. So it's your man Jay Will. This is the LG V30, and this is my first impressions and hands-on. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.